Sabrina DM'd me one day randomly and was like, I love Bird's Eye. My best friend put me on. And then I remember thinking, oh, I think she's going on tour. We should, my team should hit her and see what the deal is.
Yeah.
But as soon as we hit her, she was already in the process of hitting us. So it was kind of this perfect mutual marriage of wanting to work together in that way. So.
All right, this is your Audacy Check In at the Hard Rock Hotel, New York, in the Rockstar Suite with a rock star, Ravyn Lenae.
Hi.
So happy you're here. Congrats on everything.
Thank you.
I'm playing Love Me Not like every other song, just nonstop. Did you have a feeling that song would kind of be the one to take things to the next level?
Yeah, I think as soon as I cut that song and I heard it and I shared it with my team, we all knew there was something magical about it. And I feel like that's a very rare feeling to have and like feel it so intensely.
Yeah.
So I felt so special about it, but it's one thing for, the world to agree with that and to push it in that way. So it's been pretty rewarding.
And I know sometimes how it sounds in the studio versus outside. So what was like the test? Were you in a 99 Honda Civic bumping it, or like what was the test?
I think what's funny is when I first cut this song, I remember leaving the studio and being like, I don't like it.
Okay.
Something with it isn't right. Something is too different from what I've done in the past. It just wasn't right to me.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it, I think on the way to the studio a few weeks later in my car. And that's usually my listening test when I'm driving to the studio. Yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, something is crazy about this.
Yeah.
Dahi, the producer I worked on the song with, he called me and said, oh, we got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So obviously music is the full-time thing now, but when it was still part-time and you weren't able to make that transition, what was like the last crap job you were holding down while, making that transition?
I do not have that interesting of a story when it comes to that.
Okay.
Right out of high school is really where I started to do music, and I decided not to go to college and started touring like almost at the end of high school into, my late teens, early 20s. So I didn't have a job.
You never had a crap job? You went from high school to...
I know. But I can't
pampered.
say, I know. But I can't say my dream at 17 was to work at American Apparel. So... We come a long way.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So now you're so busy. You're seeing all this newfound fame. How do you manage to make your mental health a priority still with all this going on?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest challenge for me, especially with the shift of rhythm, from my normal day to day. So making the music, that's easy, doing the shows, that's easy, but really finding that balance amongst, like you said, mental health, personal time, physical health, family, friends. That's the thing I'm trying to juggle. But I think it's making sure I carve out moments for myself, even if it's just my shower at the end of the night.
Yes.
To really just think and thank, myself, thank God for the day, for the things I'm able to accomplish, and think about the next day. So
yeah. You said
that's
something
a start.
I saw in like another interview or whatever, and I loved it because I agree with it. Sometimes you have to look at something bigger than yourself to just, make you feel like your problems aren't that big, and like looking out at the ocean and stuff. And now that you're in LA, California, you have access to this nature where you could just, kind of go out and literally touch grass, but is writing enough of a creative outlet for you, or do you have other hobbies that also put you in a good mental space?
So right now it's music for me. That's what takes up majority of my time. I think in the future I would love to pick up some other hobbies, but for right now it's music, and it's binging The Bear right now. So
is it as authentic as it comes off as, because you could tell us you're a Chicago native. I mean,
I think that's a great representation of that part of Chicago for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to get a little deep with you if you're okay with it. I love your song One Wish, and how you open up about your father. My dad actually left when I was young, and I'm interested because even when my son was born, I didn't feel an urge to seek him out or anything. So I know every situation is different, but what made you feel like that relationship was worth repairing?
Yeah. I think there just came a point where my mentality shifted about a lot of different things in my life, including how I deal with uncertainty or maybe controversy in my life or between, the people I love. So I just wanted to think about, what life means and how we're treating it, and also how much empathy and grace I'm extending to the people in my life. And he was the main sore spot. And I think for me, I was carrying the burden and carrying the hurt, and that didn't feel good anymore. And I knew that I wanted to give it at least one more try. Also, I think something happens when you start turning the ages that your parents were when they had you, and you start to really think about, oh, they were 19 when they, I wouldn't have known what to do, and I wouldn't have maybe made the right decision. So just really thinking about them as people and teenagers and 20-somethings allowed me to empathize.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Beautiful. So you got these amazing shows coming up. You're going to be supporting Sabrina Carpenter. You're going to be supporting Renee Rapp. How does that, were those like arranged marriages? How did they slide into the DMs? How did that come about?
Yeah, so with Sabrina, obviously a huge fan of both of them. Yeah. Sabrina DM'd me one day randomly and was like, I love Bird's Eye. My best friend put me on. Yeah. I can't stop listening to it. And like, I thought that was so sweet, but I didn't think anything would really come of that. And then I remember thinking, oh, I think she's going on tour. We should, my team should hit her and see what the deal is. Yeah. But as soon as we hit her, she was already in the process of hitting us. So it was kind of this perfect mutual marriage of wanting to work together in that way. So I'm so excited to support her on tour, support Renee. I think they're two women who are killing it right now, and I can't wait.
And have you met both of them yet, or?
I haven't met Renee yet. Okay. We've been like playing this with each other.
Yeah.
But hopefully soon. She seems so sweet. We, share texts. Sabrina, I just met for the first time a few weeks ago in London, so that was sweet.
Oh, good. I love that you're being embraced by so many different genres, soul, R&B, pop, because I feel like your music represents that. It is very eclectic, so that's awesome. Before we wrap, I'm going to put you in the hot seat a little bit for this last one. Coming from Chicago, I want you to give me, I have two artists that I'm going to share with you, but I want you to give me two artists that are your favorite, one being, Chicago born, one being like a OG legend. Yeah. And then another being a personal favorite that maybe is even a bit underrated.
Okay.
Do it.
OG, that is hard. I would consider Lupe Fiasco an OG at this point.
Let's go. All right, that was my number two. I was going to go with him for underrated. All right, continue.
Underrated, I love Kara Jackson. She's a folk artist from Chicago who I adore. Okay. So if you haven't heard of her, please check her out.
Oh, man. So I was just going to say Sam Cooke because Sam Cooke, right? Oh. And then I was going to say Lupe Fiasco. Yeah. I guess I could go with I don't know that she's underrated, but Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson.
Her voice is just so beautiful, and I feel like sometimes she doesn't get the credit she deserves, but that's crazy with Lupe Fiasco.
So you had him in your head.
Yes. Yeah. That is, look.
But you know what? He don't get the love he deserves.
He does not. Yeah. He is one of the best lyricists in hip hop music, and I feel like he just doesn't get that love.
I agree.
We vibe. Well, thank you so much for spending the time.
Thank you.
Congrats on everything. You're killing it.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy that video? See more interviews, more performances, and more of your favorite artists by subscribing and downloading the free Audacy app.